What in the world is going on? I'm seeing a lot more of these stories popping up. The Department of Homeland Security purchases 450 million rounds of hollow point ammunition. They also made a second purchase of 750 million rounds. That's over a billion rounds of hollow point ammunition. Hollow point ammunition is, well, a reasonable person doesn't use hollow points to shoot at targets. It's not a target round. It is basically designed for one purpose, and that is to kill. And basically, upon impact, cause as much damage as possible. Now, I'm looking at a number of things and trying to figure out what's going on. And here's kind of what I see. And I think everybody really needs to just think about it, look at the pieces, put them together, and come up with your own idea of what the picture is. As you recall, I think it was about 6 months ago, there was the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, passed by Congress, signed by the president. It's a very disturbing and troubling piece of legislation because of two things. One, habeas corpus. In short, habeas corpus, I'm trying to think of it. It basically means that you can't be held without charge. If you're going to be arrested, you got to be brought before a judge, and you have your due process rights. And you also have Posse Comitatus Act, which basically says that the United States military can't be used against the civilian population. Both of those items that have protected U.S. citizens were suspended. It means they're no longer in effect. It means that the government, they can just arrest and detain you indefinitely. And for those who don't understand what indefinitely means, forever. They can hold you forever without even charging you, without even putting you in front of a judge. Our Congress and the president signed this. You can be arrested, thrown in Guantanamo Bay as a U.S. citizen, never to be seen or heard from again. That's a fact. Look it up. It's right there for you to see. And there's a bunch of other heinous stuff in that bill that they passed. I believe a judge overturned one part of it that was regarding, I believe, journalism, that it basically, shut up the journalists. And he said that was unconstitutional. Well, there's a lot that's unconstitutional in that bill. But anyway, let's look at that piece. You have habeas corpus and the Posse Comitatus Act basically just shut down. You no longer have those protections. Now, let's see. You've got Homeland Security buying over 1 billion rounds. You've got reportedly the National Weather Service had purchased some 40,000 rounds of, I believe it was 357 hollow point rounds, along with 500 paper targets. Again, why would you buy hollow points and paper targets? Why does the Weather Service, and apparently they tried to issue some, it's because the National Weather Service falls under the Forestry Department and blah, blah. That's one too many coincidences. Well, then yesterday we find out Social Security Administration ordered some 140-some thousand rounds of, again, hollow point ammunition. The Social Security Administration. What is going on? Add that to the fact you have local law enforcement being trained on military-grade equipment, vehicles, and things of that sort. And then you've got the United States Army and the United States Marine Corps being trained on how to put down civil unrest. And then to cap that all off, well, let me cap it off with two things. One, the government is building a data collection site in Utah that basically anything that's electronic that goes on, just gets dumped into the storage facility, just saves it all. And I'd imagine all you'd have to do as a member of the government would be to type in someone's social security number, and it would go through all these, just terabytes of information. And anything that's done electronically is just saved out there. There's not some person sifting through it daily. It's just stored out there. And all they have to do is, if they want to retrieve it, put in your information, pull up everything you did. All your bank deposits, ATMs, whatever, credit card purchases, they can track everything. But then look up these FEMA camps. These things, I'll tell you, I don't look at any one specific thing and be like, aha. But, what kind of put me onto the FEMA camp, I saw this, you can YouTube this, Jesse Ventura. The guy's kind of a radical on a lot of things, but he did this episode on FEMA camps. And they have these camps built all around the country. And they look like prisons. And they're like, oh, well, no, it's basically if there's a natural disaster, we have somewhere to put the people. Like after Katrina, people were displaced. Well, now we have these camps. And, well, oddly enough, these camps are surrounded with huge fences with barbed wire. And they asked the people who were there at the camp, maintaining the facility, why they had this razor wire at the top. It says, well, it's when people stay here, it's to protect them, that you keep, they're vulnerable. They don't have any of their belongings, da-da-da-da-da. It keeps them safe, foreign people coming in, trying to take advantage of them. Odd thing is the razor wire is pointed inward to keep the people on the inside from getting out. Now, why would that be? If you're trying to keep bad people from coming in, wouldn't you want to angle the razor wire? Now, you don't add that to FEMA camps, these data collection centers, the United States military being trained for civil unrest, all these billions of rounds of ammunition in places like the Social Security Administration, the National Weather Service. Put all these pieces together. Doesn't that cause anyone any amount of concern? I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I feel like a frog in the water. You've all heard the story. If you had a pot of hot water and you threw a frog in it, whoop, he just bounced right out. Anyway, if you take a frog and put him in just like nice cool water, room temperature water, and just turn the heat up, it'll slowly, the temperature slowly comes up, and the frog doesn't even realize it. Next thing you know, he's dead. He's boiling. Well, that's what I kind of feel like now. These little pieces are just getting put in place, and there's an end game, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're afraid that, we're going to have some type of dog hair, have some type of civil unrest because of something that they're going to do. Do they fear an economic collapse and people are going to, basically go after the financial institutions to try to salvage what they can? I don't understand what it is that they're so afraid of, but they're not talking. They're not explaining why they're doing what they're doing. I just wanted to pass this information along. This isn't a Republican or a liberal thing. This isn't a conspiracy. These are just facts that I've been able to verify. And don't take my word for it. Do your own homework. Research this stuff. Don't research it and go ask, some, liberal government type. Oh, yeah, everything's fine. Oh, no, do your own homework. Use your own mind. Make your own determinations. I'd like to hear what you think. I mean, like I said, I don't wake up in the morning with a tinfoil hat thinking there's black helicopters, circling around my house. Although, when you hear about 30,000 drones are going to be in the skies in the next 5 years, drones, little drones surveilling people. You can't even go in your backyard and without the government is spying on you. So think about these things, and I'd appreciate your feedback. Like I said, and those who think that this is just a bunch of conspiracy and I'm nutty, save the fat comments. I mean, you're welcome to share them, but it just, a lot of people, I've been getting feedback, a lot of people are like, yeah, these guys are idiots. That's, oh, you're fat. That's the only thing I get. Try to add something positive to the conversation. Add something of substance. So I welcome everything. I mean, I definitely like the intellectual, comments, But you know, the idiots that just like to go out there and throw hate comments out there, that's fine. You know, it just shows what's wrong with America at this point. And it shows, you know, basically the quality of public education. Um, but anyway, send me your comments and tell me what your thoughts are. And I appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.